What's everybody? Screech here with another Fat Files React. This one hits personal to me. Um, Not the same way the Crocs one did, which, by the way, they're wonderful. You should buy a pair. Uh, the way it looks is this is about DoorDash, but this could also be about Klarna and a firm because of the financing a burrito thing. But I do DoorDash for a living, so I have a lot of opinions about this. If this is about DoorDash, if it's about being stupid and financing a burrito, I have a lot of opinions because I believe that is stupid for financing a burrito. So, with further ado, let's see what Nick's got to say. Make sure I'm on the right screen.
I've done it. I've accidentally stumbled upon the dumbest business model on the planet. I've done it. I've accidentally stumbled upon the dumbest business model on the planet.
Not sure you have, but
Today
you
we're
could be
talking about
close.
buy now, pay later. Historically speaking,
Okay.
it has been a method of payment since pretty much forever. And it's been exactly what it sounds like. You buy something that you can't afford right now and you pay for it later. Whether you're buying a house or a car or your oven goes out and you don't have enough money to replace your oven, you go to the appliance store and the appliance store is like, no problem, we'll hook you up with a payment plan so you can get your oven. It's never been an issue.
Here's all the money. That's as good as money, sir. Those are IOUs.
I mean, that's how I pretty much buy everything. Like that's how I look at credit cards too. Like I shouldn't, but it's like you get your money now and then you just pay over time. Sometimes with interest, sometimes without. It depends on promos and stuff like that going on with either the credit card or the business.
See this? That's a car. Might want to hang on to that one.
But in the past couple of years, apparently flying under my radar, a bunch of tech bros have gotten together and said, you know what, we should take this method of payment and turn it into an entire business model. And it is not only the dumbest business model I've ever seen, it's almost unironically evil. Like if you were to take a cabal of evil economists and put them in a think tank and tell them they need to come up with the dumbest way possible to crash the economy, this is what they would come up with. And we're going to get into it right after word from our sponsor.
Delete me. Yeah, no, like definitely this is a lot of why the economy is in the way it is because everybody's got finance this, finance that. So like the people with money don't have to worry about the credit score because they got enough money, they don't need to care about it. So they probably don't finance. And then the people who are too poor to be able to afford the stuff they need, finance, tank their credit scores, and now they can't do stuff.
Delete me.
Told you.
No gun this time?
Oh. Oh.
What is that?
It's my new concealed carry. It's so cute and small.
I mean, it's pretty average, I would say.
Well, I can't get my two hands on it.
Oh, is that the standard now? All right, here's the deal. Super simple, straightforward business model. You give them money, they turn around and make sure the data brokers on the internet aren't selling your personal information. What does that even mean? Okay, here's the entire internet and every free service on the planet inside of a nutshell. Okay, there's a saying, if you're not paying for the product,
You are the product.
What that means is pretty much anything on the internet that you use, that's a service, whether that be Google, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, all of it. Okay, it's all an app. So one of two things is happening. They're either going to feed you ads, and that's how that company makes money since their service is free, or they're going to collect your personal information, then turn around and sell it to data brokers on the internet, and then they're going to turn around and sell it to whoever buys it, and next thing you know, you're getting 17,000 robocalls every single day. And that's where Delete Me comes in. They will look through all the major data brokers and find the ones that are selling your personal information and submit opt-out requests on your behalf, and then they are legally obligated to comply. And then they'll continue to monitor these data brokers, and if they get your information again, Delete Me will submit an opt-out request again. Basically, you're paying Delete Me to get rid of all the downsides of all of the free stuff on the internet, which I think is absolutely worth it. If you want to check them out, I'll have a link and a discount code down below. Let's get back to the video. All right, moment of transparency. I had no intention of making this video. I didn't even really know.
I made myself go off screen so that you could see his discount code and whatnot, because I didn't realize I was covering it. So
let's get back to the video. All right, moment of transparency. I had no intention of making this video. I didn't even really know that these companies existed or how they functioned until recently. I went to order something off of DoorDash, a pizza for me and the family, and I was presented with payment options. Those were Apple Pay.
Okay, PayPal, Venmo, Cash App. See Klarna right there.
A credit card, or Klarna. And for whatever reason, on this particular day, I said, what the fuck is Klarna? So I clicked on it. I was then presented the option of making an account with Klarna, and then I would be allowed to make 4 easy installments to pay off my pizza.
That is without a doubt,
I believe with interest.
I've ever heard.
To which I
Not
immediately
100%
said to
sure.
myself in my head, that's stupid. I'm not about to finance a pizza and a private chauffeur to deliver it to me. I hit back and paid with a credit card, but then I was like, well, wait a minute. I technically did just finance a pizza and a private chauffeur to bring it to me.
I just told, like I said, credit cards are the exact same thing. It's what I told, see?
Because I paid it with a credit card, right? I'm buying it now and I'm gonna pay for it later when I pay my credit card statement off at the end of the month. So what the fuck is the difference between Klarna and a credit card? So I looked into it, and guess what the difference is between Klarna, Afterpay, Affirm, all these buy now
I have no idea. I'm so glad because I've been trying to figure this out forever, other than the fact that Klarna and Affirm don't do credit checks.
pay later tech companies, and a credit card. Basically nothing. Credit cards are regulated. These companies are barely regulated, and they're nowhere near as regulated as a credit card.
Same, but different. But still same.
Now, obviously, these tech companies insist that they are different from credit cards. That's why they're not getting regulated as credit cards. So let's just go ahead and go over both and see if we can see any difference whatsoever. Credit
I have a feeling we're not going to see a difference.
card companies primarily make money in two different ways. One, if you don't pay off your balance at the end of the month, they charge you like 26% interest, and they make money off of the interest. Okay,
Yep.
pretty straightforward. Everybody understands that. Way number two, credit cards make money that less people understand is they act as a payment processor. So what that means is every time you swipe your credit card at a store, they are going to charge the retailer between 1 and 3% of the total purchase amount
Yep.
every single time you use your card. So if you go to Walmart and buy $100 worth of groceries, Walmart is going to end up paying $3 for that 3% of a processing fee. And then if you don't pay off your bill, they're going to make interest on top of that. Those are
Yep.
the two ways that credit card companies make money. Now,
I knew
Klarna and
that.
all the other buy now, pay later companies are totally different because they make all of their money off of processing fees, but instead of charging 1 to 3%, they charge 3 to 6%, aka
Ooh.
double what a credit card charges. And then they give you a 0 interest loan for 30 days. And if you don't pay it off, then they start charging you interest.
Ah, okay. I didn't know it was free for 30 days. And I have an Affirm account. That's how I got all my business stuff.
It's the same fucking thing as a credit card.
But worse.
Picture.
They even have a Visa card that you can put in your wallet and take with you to do this as much as you want. So why the fuck isn't it regulated like a
Affirm gave me a physical card.
credit card? Well, you see, a credit card is a revolving line of credit. That means you've got a $5,000 limit. You can spend $5,000, you pay it off, you can spend $5,000 all over again. When you use Klarna, Klarna isn't giving you access to a line of credit. They're giving you an individual loan. So if you get on DoorDash and use Klarna to pay for a fucking burrito, Klarna is giving you an individual loan for said burrito.
Good Lord, pay it off today.
Pay it off.
And you can
Okay, this sounds like how Upgrade was, because I had an Upgrade, quote unquote, line of credit. And every time I did something, it was technically an individual loan.
avoid interest on that loan by paying that loan off in full in 30 days, exactly like a credit card. Or, unlike a credit card, you could sign up for their payment plan where you make 4 payments over the course of 6 weeks and you'll still avoid interest. But if you go with that payment plan, each loan is going to come out of your account on its own schedule. So
Yep.
if you buy 30 things off a
I deal with that right now with Affirm. I got 3 or 4, and I'm getting ready to have another one.
Klarna, you've got 30 loans out there auto withdrawing from your account on whatever random dates those payment dates are. So basically Klarna is running 30 transactions a month to get all their money out on 30 different days, making it very, very hard for the average person to keep track of how much money they owe and how much debt they're actually in.
It sounds like a simple shakedown. Simple as that.
Okay, just so we're all on the same page, their entire argument is, yeah, we're basically a credit card, but we're a really, really shitty, inconvenient credit card, therefore we shouldn't have to play by any rules. But
That's why you should play by more rules.
don't worry, it gets worse. You see, when you apply for a credit card, they actually run your credit. And if you buy a bunch of stuff on a credit card and then you pay it off, it increases your credit score. That's
Yep.
a lot of the reasons that people go and get credit cards at a young age to build credit so they can hopefully buy a house in the future.
Yep.
These buy now, pay later companies, on the other hand, they don't run your credit. So you can buy a bunch of shit with these companies, but it's never going to improve your credit score.
Nope.
But inversely, if you go ahead and don't pay your bill, they'll report it to collections, and then that will tank your credit score.
Which is bullshit. Either you report it, like, if you're going to report it to collections because it didn't pay, then you should also be helping my credit score because I'm paying it.
They can only hurt your credit. They can't help it. Buh! If you don't like the service, then just don't use it. Buh! Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. Here's how that affects all of us. Remember earlier when I said that they doubled the processing fees of a normal credit card? Great, wonderful. If retail companies are gonna have to pay an extra 3%, they're gonna pass that along to the customer, and they can't discriminate and only pass it along to Klarna users because you can't make individual people pay the processing fees. So they're just gonna
Bullshit. Like, I like you, Nick, but like, yeah, you can. I got companies that do it all the time. They upcharge. Granted, it's like mom and pop store. What? It's almost always liquor stores. But yeah, the my local liquor store charges 3% for using a card. They automatically upcharge it.
raise their prices across the board. So even if you're Dave Ramsey paying for everything,
But that's for every credit card transaction. Okay, maybe that's what you're saying. If that's what you're saying, I apologize.
in fucking cash, you're going to be paying more money because somebody wants to finance a fucking burrito. Which raises a question, why would any retailer want to use Klarna or Afterpay or Affirm or any of these other buy now, pay later companies if they're charging more money for the processing fee?
Because they get the money straight from Klarna. Klarna's the one that gets fucked over. That's exactly how I was told when I worked for Walmart. Walmart doesn't care because they already got their money.
Great question. This is where it gets evil. You've probably seen these in a checkout where it's like you could pay the $100 for your purchase right now, or you can make 4 payments of $25 and still get what you wanted right now. Okay, now to
Plus, it's a psychology thing, which he just talked about. It's like, ooh, $25. I can pay $25. The $100 right now, though, ooh, not so much. And that's how I got into credit card debt the first time.
some of us, that seems stupid because $100 is $100. Whether you take it from me right now or next Tuesday, I'm still paying $100. What's the big deal? But there's a ton of scientific research that has gone into this. And when you spend a bunch of money, it activates the same part of your brain that is your pain response. It is borderline physically painful to spend a lot of money. So there's a huge chunk of the population that as long as they see that lower amount in what they have to pay right now, they're 20% more likely to make the purchase and they're 30% more likely to spend even more money.
Yep. I have literally seen the price tag of some things and be like, well, can't afford that, not buying that. And I never bought it.
Yes, science.
So essentially, all these buy now, pay later companies are approaching retailers and saying, hey, we're going to charge you 6%, but you're going to sell 20% more often. And when you do sell, those purchases are going to be 30% larger. Basically, retailers take the deal because it makes them more money. And the reason it makes them more money is because Klarna and all the other buy now, pay later companies have figured out how to make credit cards 2.0, except this time it's more dangerous, it's less regulated, and people that are financially illiterate are more likely to fuck up their entire financial future over a fucking burrito. The inception of this company had to have been like an episode of Mad Men with a bunch of John Hamm looking motherfuckers drinking scotch and smoking cigars inside of a high-rise building, and they're like, haha, we're gonna figure out how to exploit poor and financially illiterate people even harder than they already are, and it's gonna be a great business model. Yeah, except it's not, because that's the dumbest fucking idea I've ever heard in my entire life. Okay, let me rephrase this entire thing so we're all on the same page. Credit cards have a screening process. You apply for a credit card, meaning they've done some research into you and they've determined you're probably pretty likely to pay this back. Klarna and buy now, pay later doesn't do that same screening process at all. So they're giving lines of credit, essentially, individual loans on burritos and fucking pizzas to people that probably can't afford to pay it back. You want to know how I know they can't afford to pay it back? Because they're taking out a payment plan on a fucking burrito.
I mean, that's a fair argument. But again, he still hasn't brought up the fact that, and maybe he's not aware of it, or there's research that I don't know. This is just what I was told as, like I said, as an employee of Walmart. Walmart doesn't care because they already got the money. Like, they got paid in full for that transaction. Klarna's the one that's got to deal with actually getting the money.
And you're never going to believe this. It's not working out for them. Q1 of 2025, they posted a $99 million loss, and they have no idea why, because guess what? The people that were financing DoorDash and a bunch of other dumb shit aren't paying off their bills in time.
Oh, sorry. My understanding is that $99 million loss didn't start or show up until after they partnered with DoorDash to finance burritos. That was my understanding.
Shocking.
Unbelievable.
I would pay so much money to see the CEO of Klarna have a sit down with Warren Buffett and try to convince Warren Buffett to have Berkshire Hathaway invest in Klarna, as he explains to him in detail that their business model is to sell payment plans and loans for Chipotle burritos. It would be fantastic. These companies literally broke level 1 of capitalism.
Yep.
Capitalism can be described as you identify a fucking problem, then you solve the problem and sell the solution. Klarna
Or create the problem and sell the solution, but that's neither here nor there. Also, I'm not 100% sure because I haven't looked at the numbers. He's focusing heavily on Klarna, and that could be because it was what sparked the video. But I believe Klarna is also the only buy now, pay later that is actually suffering. I believe Affirm and the other ones are doing well.
on the other hand, came along and was like, okay, I think I've identified the problem. Poor people don't have any money. What if we made it easier for poor people to have even less money?
Perfect. Everything.
That's not fixing the problem, it's making it worse. Imagine if a plastic surgeon in Miami figured out a way to help women with flat asses have even flatter asses. He would go out of business. Klarna, on the other hand, is trying to IPO for $15 billion, okay? IPO means initial public offering. Basically, they're gonna open this up to the stock market and let people invest in the company. And the shitty part, because it's the tech sector and everybody thinks that the next tech company is gonna be the next Apple or the next Tesla, they're probably gonna get a metric shit ton of money and a ton of investors are gonna come.
Bye-bye.
And they're all gonna fail. It's gonna drop.
How'd you fucking do that?
Okay, if you're not picking up what I'm putting down, they're about to get a bunch of people to invest in what amounts to subprime burrito loans, and it has the potential to crash the entire economy, right? This is what happened in 2008 with the housing market. What happened in 2008? A bunch of banks were giving out subprime mortgages. Subprime meaning they're giving a mortgage to somebody they know probably can't afford it, and guess what happens when people can't afford shit? They don't afford it, and then they end up not making the payments, they foreclose on the house, that happens too much, and it ruins the entire fucking housing market and the entire economy as a whole.
Which actually might be a good thing for a change because everything needs to go down in price. It's weird to say that, but like that's what needs to happen because everything's too damn expensive. So if people can't afford shit, you got to make it cheaper so that people will buy it. Yeah. Like he's touching on a lot of great points. You know, it's predatory, it's disastrous. We talked about it. We talked about the Klarna DoorDash team up when it first happened in my small work community that I'm a part of. And yeah, we think it's just dumb to finance a burrito. Like I said, that's why we say it's predatory as dashers. Like we don't care because it means we get more work and possibly more tips. Because of it, but at the same time, it's like people are just going more and more in debt for stupid shit.
Completely sure of the math. Look at him. You notice anything different about him? Look at his face. That's pretty racist. His name's Yang. Yeah, I'm sure of the math. Actually, my name's Jiang.
But at least when the housing market crashed and the bank foreclosed on a bunch of houses, they still had the houses that they could turn around and sell to somebody else. Granted, they weren't going to get all their money out of it because the price of houses fell to the floor, but at least they had something left over. How the fuck are you going to foreclose on a DoorDash order that somebody ate 9 months ago?
That was our argument, you know, like how are you going to repossess it? Like when you take out a car loan that gets repossessed and they make some money back, if not more money back, because they got all the money from the car. Then you got the resale of the car if it's in good condition. You know, he just brought foreclosing on a house, so they reclaim the house as their property, and then they can turn around and sell the house to somebody else or rent the house instead of selling it. That way they can make back their money and then put it up for sale. But like, what you gonna do? Make me go into the fucking sewage pipe and look for my particular piece of waste and give it to you? Like, it does make no sense for that.
Okay, you gonna go repo a fucking turd? I can't believe I live in a timeline where I'm legitimately concerned that one day I'm gonna wake up and see the news headlines reading subprime DoorDash order bubble bursts, crashing economy. Could the government step in right now and regulate them as credit cards like they should be regulated and fix the entire problem? Absolutely, they sure as fuck could. Unfortunately, my entire government and every politician is 7,000 years old and too technologically illiterate to understand what the problem even is.
Does TikTok access the home Wi-Fi network?
Oh God, this.
What?
How do you sustain a business model in which users don't pay for your service?
Senator, we run ads.
And by the time they do realize it's a problem, it's
Oh,
probably
boy.
going to be too big to fail, so they're just going to print a bunch of money, give it to fucking Klarna to pay off their subprime burrito loans, and then all the taxpayers get to pay for it. Fucking terrific. I can't wait. Okay, that's it. There's no silver linings. This is the dumbest business model I've ever seen in my entire life. If you want to take away from the video, it's this. If you're an entrepreneur and you want to start a business, find a problem, identify it, then solve the problem to make people's lives better. If at any point your idea to make money is to identify a problem and then make it worse to take advantage of poor and financially illiterate people, you're a piece of shit. And
Yes,
for the
you
love
are.
of God, if you have to take out a payment plan to have a private chauffeur hand deliver you a burrito, please don't do it. If you need to take out a payment plan for the burrito, you can't afford the burrito.
I mean, if you need a payment plan for the burrito, yeah, you can't afford the burrito. But if you can't afford to finance it through a credit card, just go get the thing your goddamn self.
There's literally bankers on the internet posting stories about how young couples lost the opportunity at their first house because they made a purchase with one of these buy now, pay laters a year ago, forgot about it. They reported the debt to collections and it tanked their credit and they weren't able to buy their first house over some fast food. Please don't ruin your financial future to have a burrito hand delivered to you. Buh! DoorDash is a necessity for some people. You're just a
DoorDash is not a fucking necessity. Fuck your buh. Stupid keyboard warrior.
have a burrito hand delivered to you. Buh! DoorDash is a necessity for some people. You're just a rich YouTuber that doesn't understand the struggles of the average person. Buh! Okay, pause. I know what you're thinking. Fat Electrician is taking this keyboard warrior thing too far. He's making straw men. Surely nobody is actually arguing that DoorDash is a necessity.
It's a luxury. Plain and fucking simple. And some people can't afford it.
Incorrect. I like to probe topics before I make these videos to see what the keyboard warriors will say, and this is a real opinion that popped up on the thread. And my response to this is as
I thought he was going to read it. YouTube millionaire can't understand the struggles of 99%. Don't buy luxury service with debt if you can't afford it. It's pretty sound advice. Yeah, Dark Tech Observer gets it. DoorDash is a necessary service for some people with disabilities, not a luxury. No, it is a luxury, even if you have a disability. You know, plain and simple. Fat Electrician. A, no, it isn't. People have had disabilities forever, and DoorDash is fairly new. Exactly. B, you cite the struggles of 99%, then immediately use a 1% minority as your justification. I love Fat Electrician when he takes on people.
warriors will say, and this is a real opinion that popped up on the thread. And my response to this is as follows. A, I was delivering DoorDash, not ordering DoorDash. I was a delivery driver for DoorDash like 2.5 years ago so I could afford to pay my bills. See?
Yeah, that's true. He got hurt on the job, I believe, or that first time. He tore his arm and he was in a sling and stuff and couldn't do his electrician work. So he was doing DoorDash just to try to pay the bills. So like he does understand like the whole DoorDash thing.
Can fuck right off with that shit. B, DoorDash is a luxury purchase, okay? I don't give a fuck what the circumstance is. Ordering restaurant quality food and then summoning a stranger to hand deliver it to you is a luxury purchase. To call that a necessity regardless of circumstance is like saying that a Rolex is a necessity because people need to be able to tell what time it is. No.
Sorry, look at the fucking sun. Like, I've done it. I used to be able to tell roughly the time of day and night by sun and moon where it was at. Like, you don't need it. It's not a necessity. There's other stuff to do that. You know, catering, not a necessity. That's basically what DoorDash is. DoorDash is catering for one.
The fuck it isn't. Go buy a G-Shock for $9 and it's fine. So yeah, that's it. That's all I got. The new tech bro buy now pay later companies are the worst, shittiest, dumbest business model that I've ever seen in my entire life. Thanks for watching. Best way to support the channel is go buy some merch over at thefatelectrician.com. Quack bang out.
What's the outro?
I'm gonna get a cease and desist. I can feel it already.
From who? DoorDash or fucking Klarna? Like I said, he did focus mainly on Klarna, and I will say that Affirm does seem better. Like I have a Klarna account too, but Affirm just seems safer. It seems more logical out of all of them. So I have experience with that. Again, I have I'm in the hospitality service. I do catering. I do DoorDash. You know, I do that kind of stuff. So like I get delivery, and delivery is a luxury, not a necessity. You can always make time, decide to put up with your kids and take them to the store and beat their ass if you need to. If they're getting unruly, you know, uh, you do you. But yeah, no, it's a horrible scheme. It's predatory, and it's one of the worst things ever. And they absolutely should be regulated like a credit card because they have all the same functions of a credit card. Hell, the Apple credit card now does that, from my understanding. They'll break it up into 4 payments, or you can do it through Apple Pay. Like, so they're no different than regular credit cards. Like straight up, he's absolutely correct. But with that, I will see y'all in the next one. I broke. Until then, bye bye.